me with a late night texto. She keeps sending XO. Need me that presto. Treat it like SO. How the hell am I ever gonna let go? I think I'm falling. She messing with my resto, but she keeps sending XO. She come alive, never lie. What a time to be alive. Pulling up at 12 a.m. when she call. Treat it like a race when she pedal with the floor. It's on site, cutting lights. Blue eyes, hypnotized. Caught up in a freeze, I can never tell her no. They cannot believe, doing shit they never know. Too much, I'm saying no more. 2 seconds before I'm gone. Done taking all the wrong roads. All feelings gone, but then she going. Hit me with a late night texto. She keeps sending XO. Need me that presto. Treat it like SO. How the hell am I ever gonna let go? I think I'm falling. She messing with my resto, but she keeps sending XO.
She's always trying to wrestle. Always trying to mess with my mental. Maybe lost the battle, but I'll win the war. Try to get away, but I just want you more. Into every text, take me for a run around. I wonder what is next. I can't believe it that I found in the end. Your heart's a gun, and baby, you gon' sin again and again till I'm seeing red. Broken love, never gonna be sober again. Made me feel the best, but still the worst though. I know she doesn't want any other person in the end. I can tell by all the XOXOs.
Hit me with a late night texto. She keeps sending XO. Need me that presto. Treat it like SO. How the hell am I ever gonna let go? I think I'm falling. She messing with my resto, but she keeps sending XO.
The Morning Fix live radio show will begin shortly. For your best news coverage and commentary, tune in daily at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on The Morning Fix. The Morning Fix live radio show will begin shortly. Hello and welcome to the Morning Fix Live Radio Show. I'm your host, Macho. It is 10:06 Eastern Standard Time, October 18th, 2022. 49 degrees and cloudy, nasty, decrepit, and stinky and smelly. Everything you want to think about of New York City. We are here another day. Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome. Well, we can't get this show going without the special appearance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh. What?
Wait, hold on.
Wait. You too much. Oh, good morning, everybody.
Why is it doing that?
Oh, why is it
I
doing
don't even know
that?
what the sound option is that's causing it.
Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this? Good morning, Kathy.
Why turn this shit off?
Good morning, Tina. How are we?
Is it better? Oh.
Much better. Much better. Good morning,
Oh my god,
Brian.
that was
How you doing,
spooky.
Brian?
Good morning. Okay, are we back?
We have Pamela. Good morning, Pam. How you doing?
Good morning.
Is there something you're not telling us, Brian said?
That was weird. I
Facts.
don't even know what was causing it. I don't know what button I pushed.
So are we doing okay? We're doing better now. We're comfortable.
I think so. Let's get
Okay,
this
that's good.
started.
Let's get this going. All right, everybody. We got a lot to discuss today. And I want to get things flowing first. And I wanted to start this way yesterday. However, I wanted to kind of look for the right video. And this one right here, I don't know what's going on with this
Oh
fool. Look
god.
at this
Here
guy.
we go.
Can we take a look at him? Just look at him with the aviators. He thinks he's
No, I'm
cool.
not. I'm not looking.
I want you to open your eyes like
Okay,
the
sure.
clockwork orange. I want you to look at him. Look at this guy. Look at this fool right here
Mm-hmm.
with
Okay,
the
go ahead.
fool la la. Look at what the fool la la here.
Yes, our economy is strong as hell. The internals are. Inflation is worldwide. It's worse off everywhere else than it is in the United States.
All right. Our economy is strong like hell. And you want to compare it and say it's better than other countries?
Okay.
But our economy is strong as hell. That's not how you judge our economy, dum dum. Like, you don't judge the economy and goes, well, in comparison to Europe right now, oh, what is going on with the constituents in which you voted for? How can you determine it's strong like hell with them as you eat on your nasty, decrepit ice cream over there that's probably got lactate in it? Because Lord knows the elderly can't have too much, lactose. It'll be a
Wow.
problem.
Wow. It's like that?
Yeah. Well, it's just like that. What you have something to worry about? Are you not sharing with us what's going on? Or
No, I'm good, homie.
oh, okay. And at that
You
same
trying to call me
event,
elderly?
at
Oh.
that same at that same event, Joe Biden was seen trying to sniff a woman.
Shocking.
Unreal.
No way.
Like, at some point,
Really?
when are we going to address this issue? Like, we cannot sugarcoat this. We cannot blindly look away because no one blindly looked away. This is what I'm talking about: equal application of energy. They
Mhm.
would have crucified this man, Trump, if he did this sniffing and grabbing and all that stuff. They got on him with the way he was shaking hands and throwing the freaking paper towels to Puerto Ricans. Like they scrutinize. Oh, he's playing golf while all this is going. Oh, they scrutinize everything. There's no scrutiny with Joe Biden from the
Because
media.
he's old.
So what? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Bernie
I mean,
Sanders is old.
yeah, Trump's
Shit.
old too.
Trump's old and decrepit. Like,
Yeah.
probably smells old too.
First of all, I don't know why he has to get so close to people. You're the president of the United States. Why are you
Yeah,
standing so close
like,
to people?
yo, give me that
Like,
distance, bro.
get,
What's
get,
good
get,
with
get
you?
out my hula hoop. Get out of my hula hoop. It's my personal
The
space.
hula hoop, yeah, the circumference you're
Yes.
talking about. Yeah,
Yes. Get out of it. Get out of it.
yeah. Like, what
I
is
don't know why
that
he has to get so
about?
close. What's that about?
Yeah, what is that
Oh,
about? Why does he
oh,
got to get so close?
I don't know. You were young. I was 30.
Ooh, golly. Mm.
I mean, I don't know.
So this is what the media tends to focus on
Good
rather
morning.
than focus on the actual thing that's heating up, which is the Hunter Biden investigation. Yes, Fox is covering. Yes, you have Newsmax covered because they're looking at him in a way that we should be looking at. We should be scrutinizing this president the same way we scrutinize and judged every step, every waking moment of Donald Trump. And then he survived the test of time. People think was the scrutiny only coming from the left towards Trump? Just out of curiosity.
No, he was being scrutinized,
Oh,
but
from all
mostly from the
sides.
left. Yeah, but mostly from the left.
Yeah.
But I'm with this Hunter Biden investigation. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Mm-hmm. Check
Just
this
saying.
out. Let's
Okay.
see.
Oh, look at I'm wearing my pedo hunter
I'm
hoodie
proud of my
today. How
son.
fitting.
This is a kid who
The
got,
pedo hunter. Look at
Mhm. How fitting. It's
not a
perfect.
kid, he's a grown man. He got hooked on, like many families have had happen, hooked on drugs. He's overcome that.
President Biden got just one question about his embattled son in a recent interview, and critics say it's just the latest example of the media's weak coverage of Hunter Biden. This, despite revelations the FBI believes there's enough evidence to charge him with tax and gun crimes. John Levine is a reporter
Right.
at the New York.
And to which they have said recently, Keisha, here's the problem that I have with this whole rhetoric, right?
Okay.
If
Hmm.
he's guilty of any kind of crime or suspected of being guilty, because he's got to go through a trial, right?
Correct.
Anyways, if he is involved in alleged crime, what is some of the things some of these folks are saying? Well, we can't indict him yet. Well, we can't arrest him. Why? Well, you know what the answer is?
What's the answer?
Too close to an election.
Oh, well, I was thinking because the
Must be
FBI is too
nice.
busy.
Must be
Hey,
nice.
look, I thought maybe it's because the FBI is busy raiding people's homes that they shouldn't be.
And yes, they don't care about how close to an election Mar-a-Lago was,
Hmm.
right? They don't
Hmm.
care about how close to election. Letitia James don't care about how close to election with
Nope.
her civil lawsuit.
Her
So
nonsense.
so why are we taking the white glove approach with Hunter Biden?
Oh, maybe because he's a sitting president.
Ah,
Oh,
got it.
okay.
Hunter. Here we go.
Pose, it's
Okay.
good to see you. Major network coverage of Hunter Biden the last 7 days, 0, 0, 0. So that's like consistent across the board. And then Phil Griffin of NBC and Jeff Zucker, formerly of CNN, did some interviews this weekend, or not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. And they were asked about this. And let's take a listen to what Phil Griffin said.
He was never arrested. The Justice Department was looking into it, never reported it until he is. He's the son of a candidate. I don't think it's a main story until that happens.
The thing about that for me
Wow.
is that there's a lot of
Oh.
people who are never arrested.
Wow.
Oh.
So it's just it's a main story, but not
Oh.
something that. So again, the law. This is why people have questions about the legal system. People have questions because it's the rules for thee, but not for me.
Hmm.
And it happened with COVID. That's what conservatives and Republicans were arguing. Oh, look at the Democrat leaders. Here's what they get to do.
Right.
Now here's again. We can throw the book at the previous president. We can make sure we indict him. Oh, I'm standing for democracy. Liz Cheney, derangement syndrome. I'll make sure he'll never step into the Oval Office. Liz Cheney, apply that same energy to the current sitting president. I wonder what you'll find. Better yet, where's that fat boy Moore? Michael Moore. Where's Fat Boy Moore? He
Yeah.
looks all pudgy and all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where is he?
he's known for doing all this investigative
Oh,
stuff.
right.
Why isn't he investigating Joe Biden? Anyone out there? Can you hear me? The internet world. I'm hoping anyone in the internet world. Can you corroborate or deny? Can you confirm nor deny what the right is saying about the Biden crime family? Peter Schweizer wrote a book about profiles in corruption. And in one of those chapters was the Biden family.
Oh,
So,
shocking.
guys, anyone out there, I'm talking about the Young Turks. I'm talking about David Pacman of the world. These are all liberals. These are all people out there. Who else? We have Roland Martin, which we're going to roll a clip of him later, which we've rolled a clip of him yesterday.
Okay,
Uh,
you're talking, but we still don't have the names. We have somebody that's supposedly in jail for flying people to an island, and we don't know who those people were.
Where are these people who call themselves investigative journalists? We
On
know
the
what
island,
Project
on the laptop.
Veritas has done. We know what they've
Mhm,
done.
mhm.
They have found a diary. And the leader of Project Veritas did not want to say anything about it until he was able to confirm it. Confirm the source, confirm where it came from. Anyone out there, anyone who has a big platform, You want to waste your time on little old me and Keisha and everyone else? All I'm asking for is, can we apply that equal energy towards this current administration? Can we apply that equal energy towards the laughing hyena? All I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Apply that same energy. That's all we're looking at.
Well,
But
they're
we're
all
not
still
going
on
to
the
get that.
island. They're all still on the island.
They're all probably messing around with,
Yep, that part.
Okay, let me not do it. Let's not do it. Not today, Satan.
Okay.
But are investigated nonstop, and especially if you think about that meeting with the Russian lady at the Trump Tower.
Right, never arrested.
Never arrested.
I think he's being knowingly disingenuous because
Okay.
we all know that's not the standard.
Right.
His network subjected this country to years of Russiagate reporting. Before there were any arrests in connection with that case. And that was all based on the Steele dossier, which, as we know, was bogus. It was junk. Whereas with Hunter, this is a real story. The hard drive was real. The charges he's facing are real. And the national security implications for our country are real as well. So,
all right, if it's real, reporter, and the police know about this, the FBI knows about this, why aren't we not being accountable to the FBI? And I'm asking.
The FBI was raiding someone's home that they shouldn't have been raiding.
Right.
Look, at the end of the day, we already know.
Get revved up. Let me see you. Go ahead.
If you yourself can't view the information that's on that laptop, his ass should have been hooked a long time ago.
What do you mean you can't look at it? Explain to us what that means.
If you view it, someone will be knocking on your door. What
do you mean? Why? Why would someone be knocking on my door?
You can't view that on your computer. You can't view child porn on your computer.
Oh, there's CP on there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are we doing? Why can't we hook them? Because we're too close to an election. And guess what? The right side of media.
No, they can hook him. Okay.
So what
will it look like? What will it look like if a sitting president son with the same last name,
he's got to go? That's what that look like.
Yeah, is hooked by the FBI.
He's
like when you see Joe
That's
Biden's
the problem.
behavior. Yeah, when you see Joe Biden's behavior, when you see how he is inappropriate, when you see the crazy things that leave his mouth, the reason for that is he's too old to even think before he speaks. Therefore, we're getting the truth. Everyone's choosing to ignore it, but that's fine. But like I say, if that's where you're at with it, and if you're choosing to support somebody who says you were young and I was 30, you know what? I'm going to question you.
She was 12 and I was 30.
Yes.
Like, what the?
That part.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. So if you're supporting that and you're okay with that behavior and you're okay with him touching and sniffing, and every time he sees a child, he stops speaking to, oh, come here, dear. Come stand by me. Yeah, come over here. You nasty motherfucker. Oh, I'm sorry. It's early. I shouldn't be talking.
He probably smells like it. He probably smells the way we think of him. Do you get what I'm saying?
He's garbage.
Here's
and he raised trash. That's the thing. You see, you lead by example. His kid's trash. He's trash.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, the behavior is inappropriate. You're inappropriate. See how that works?
Here's the thing. When Republicans get back in power, we are impeaching shitty pants.
And Mr. Rant Room has entered the building.
Here's my thing, though. And I'm going to echo the sentiment of Mr. Rant Room here. I agree. But why aren't we making the kind of noise that should be made? When the Republicans had control of the Senate, the left was loud. They were loud. They were screaming. They mobilized the liberal media. And yes, we can argue tooth and nail. But Macho, we don't have the media. Well, you better strong arm it. Well, you better do what they do in terms of getting the news out there. That's why I'm challenging every creator, anyone who's willing to come on here and entertain little old me. And I'm not doing this for clout. I'm asking, out of respect of the integrity of your platform, look into the Biden family. Can you corroborate what Tom Fitton has said? Can you corroborate what Project Veritas has said? Can you corroborate what Peter Schweizer wrote a book about? What about Molly Hemingway? Are you just going to tout him off to being extremists? Because everybody on the right, the ones who have gone to school, who are the scholars, have challenged white fragility, have challenged the whole notion of systemic racism, have challenged and investigated the whole notion of Trump and him doing what he does, and has brought it to the forefront of media. Says, hey, here it is. We're not sweeping anything under the rug. You claim that we are, but we're not. We've applied that same energy. And he has survived the test of time. I ask you, anyone out there who supports liberal side of politics, can your side survive the test of time? My argument is no. Oh, we know it can't, Keisha, right?
Who's on it this
they,
morning?
they're going to have to apologize for a few things. Oh, man. Wait a minute. The white
Apologize?
hood? The white
Wait,
hoods? Damn.
Apologize? You think that's gonna happen? You think that we will see an apology? Are you crazy? Stop it. There'll be no apology. Get out of here. No, they
Wait,
don't.
wait.
They don't owe us anything. What are you
The
talking
white
about?
hoods, Democrat. Oh, let's stop. Let's stop. Too much early in the morning right here. Let's see.
Yes.
So that's my whole take on this whole notion of we know he's guilty. We know this. We know. Yeah, you can know everything you want. Stop with your calm demeanor. Get out into the forefront. Make noise about this, man, because this is disgusting. What this family is alleged to be a part of. How do we look at AJ? Question mark. How do we describe this? We don't admonish it with guilt. What do we say? Suspicion, allege, allegations. What do we say?
Everything is alleged. Everything's an allegation. Nothing is founded. Allegedly. No, this bitch is guilty. And anyone who's seen what's on the laptop in the dark web knows he's guilty.
We did. Well, I did by myself. Well, that's when you
Oh yeah,
went off to
yesterday.
work.
Yes,
Not yesterday. The day before the last show we had on Friday, I covered the
Okay.
AOC town hall. So I can do it again. I have no problems doing it.
And that AJ bringing that up too. Even with that, I saw someone saying that they were just like actors.
Then they would do what some of these guys do on Capitol Hill, not at a town hall where people who can be swayed. We're talking about people at the town hall agreeing with said quote unquote actors. So how far does the acting go is my question.
I don't know. I mean, anytime that someone speaks out against these so-called leaders, people in power, these fake politicians, the first thing that someone says when they speak hard facts and truth is they're acting. They're doing it for attention. It's a publicity stunt.
Well, on the left, they're actors. They're paid actors now.
Yes.
All of a sudden.
So we should be calling this. See, almost called her a ratchet name.
So let's do it. Since Keisha's here, she can respond. Let's do it right now when everyone's here.
I think it's still up on my thing. My account warning's gone.
Hey, now.
TikTok likes me again. Okay, go ahead.
Look at that. All right.
Men, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine. Tulsi Gabbard, she's left the Democratic Party because they're a bunch of war hawks. Okay? You originally voted, you ran as an outsider, yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine. You're voting to start a thermonuclear.
She ran to be what? An outsider. Right? And if this was a paid set of people, then she would have rose to the occasion and handled it in such way. So look at how she handles this. Watch how you guys can examine it for yourself. It's just acting. Hey, I'll leave the door open. It could be, but how does she rise above and rise to the occasion? Tells me a whole lot.
War with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You're playing with our lives.
There will be no neighbors if there's a nuclear bomb. You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis.
So my question is, this woman here wearing this mask clapping. Yeah. There was a gentleman who was agreeing as well on the side. Are those paid actors? So now my question is everyone in the auditorium a paid actor? Oh, so again, this is victimizing a person like AOC. She brought the smoke to the former president. She called him out. She said what she said about him. She even got other officials taken out of committees because she said, "Oh my God, that character I'm becoming, he called me a bitch on the Capitol steps. You can't talk to a woman like that." So you're gonna play the game, and now you're gonna tell me all of these people are paid actors? Let's see. I'm not buying.
You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization? He's telling the right truth. You have done nothing. Tulsi Gabbard has shown guts where you've shown cowardice. I believed in you, and you became the very thing you sought to fight against. That's what you've become. You are the establishment, and you are the reason why everybody will end up in a nuclear war unless you choose to stand up right now and denounce the Democratic Party. Will you do that? Yes or
All right, so Pat Ben-David on his show has leveraged the argument. This is not new. This is not something that's just springing out of nowhere. But there's a lot of disgruntled people in politics, whether it's right and the left. They're not happy with either party, Keisha. So
Go ahead.
Pat Bet-David said, "Hey, what if we just blow this up? We go to the center. We all become independent. Take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We all come together and do something like that." Now, in history, that has happened before. I mentioned this yesterday. It is called the Fusion Party. That happened before. New Deal progressives. That happened before. That happened under FDR. So it's not far-fetched that when things become so polarized and so extreme, it's this way or the highway, right?
Right.
That people are going to start to become disgruntled with singular parties, right? And then you have Rob Schneider say what he said. "Oh, if we had 10 parties, but we don't, we only have 2. You're ignorant. We don't have 2 parties. We actually have different layers, but officially we have 3. But yeah. Did you have something? Because I heard you breathe.
No. I'm sorry. No, you're right.
You're like,
Well, I mean, like, ultimately, it's you can be what you want to be, right? Doesn't matter what's behind your name. You're either ethical and moral or you're not. And I think that's the problem that I have. We focus on the D, we focus on the R, we focus on the I, but we don't focus on people's integrity. Towards Lake, yes, in Arizona. Lake is a beast.
So someone in the chat says I call bullshit and that the person is overly dramatic as fuck. So, all right. Hey, we leaving the door open here on the Morning Fix. I'm not saying this is a paid actor or not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying if we look across the auditorium, there are people clapping in agreement. So we have to now start to examine, are they all paid actors? Maybe, maybe not. But hey, even if they are, it's revealing to see where people stand when they start going, we agree with that. Yeah, we
Right.
agree with that, right? So maybe that could be what they're trying to do. Where are people? Where do they stand? I don't know. Wouldn't put it past these politicians.
no? Okay, simple. Are you going to stop nuclear war? Yes or no? There is no line because this is bullshit. None of this matters if we're all dead. None of it. You know that. Then let's take it up right now because this is the only thing that matters. This is the only thing that matters right now. We could be in a nuclear war at any minute and you continue to fund it. That's what's going on. Why not right now?
Deflection is real.
To the issue. That's not even deflection. That's lack of consideration. Again, this goes back to what I've been saying, folks. They work for us, not the other way around. I'll get to that last. No, this is my care, my concern. You go based on the beat of our drum, not the other way around. So address this issue. That's it. Address this issue. Why did you support funding the war in Ukraine? Why are you supporting not this and that? Why are we having these conversations? Why are you a progressive socialist? This is an opportunity for her to rise to the occasion and speak up about where she stands with all of this. Instead, I'll get to it last.
Well,
I'll get to it
because she
last.
needs some time to think about it, and she needs somebody to talk in her ear and tell her what to say.
Right. Coach me, daddy. Coach me
Yeah,
is what she's
that
saying.
part. Yeah, yeah, that part.
Because you know there's a daddy behind the scenes. She's
You
just like,
don't
oh,
stop.
I need help. Hello, I need help, please. Somebody in the ear. Hello. You know the man hater over there. She's over there like, damn, I need a man to help me through this.
Stupid. You fucking stupid. First of all, she
Uh,
couldn't answer it because she knew they were right. She didn't have an answer. She doesn't have balls big enough to speak the truth. You know, she's
exactly.
just gonna fall in line like the robot that she is. So she wants to address it last because then she can get someone to give her some information on how to address it.
Yeah. Like,
And never answer the questions that aren't rehearsed well. We've seen it.
because if they say the wrong things, how do you walk that back? Remember Tippy Top?
But
I've never let that
but what's
go.
the wrong
So
thing? The truth? What's the wrong thing? If you just if you're just authentically you and you speak your truth, how is it wrong?
I agree with you, but again, you don't want to say the wrong thing in terms of there are many different spectrums of the truth here. You know that.
Okay.
So
Her
if I
truth.
say
It's
if I say this truth, if I go and say yeah, no, what I mean objectively, honestly, Keisha, there is objective truth that
okay.
has a spectrum, right? I could
Right.
say it to you harshly, I can cut the chase, and then all of a sudden I could be repulsive or I could be accepting. I
Okay.
think Obama showed us this. Even though he lied, there was some truth to what he said, right?
Right.
So again, so I would say that now we have to figure out, okay, how do we steer? See, politicians are so fixated on how we steered back to the place where we still keep the attention of you. How do I steer it back? Because right now you're pushing back against me. This don't look good. But how do I steer it back? Okay, am I gonna respond here or just do I let them lash out? Maybe that was a moment where she says, I'm gonna let you lash out.
Okay, but these are the people who supported her. These are the people who voted for her. You need to address these very people because they're the people that are going to keep you standing there calling yourself the AOC.
Right. I agree.
So
All
that's just
right.
what it is.
So as as I'm looking, I was looking at this character, Roland Martin, yesterday, just hearing some of the incendiary stuff that is said on his show. There's more incendiary stuff there that he's putting fear now into his audience that if a Republican is elected, this is what you're going to get. If you have a Republican dominant government, this is what you're going to get. Here's what he says.
Here we go.
There's a reason I wrote my book, White Fear. As you have the browning of America, as you've had the browning of Europe, what we are dealing with right now on immigration, Europe has been dealing with the last 10 to 15 years. We have seen in Italy, in Germany, in France, in several different countries.
What has Europe been dealing with?
The browning.
Islamic extremists that have been blowing up buildings and trains. Where's this man been? So you're saying that they have a phobia to the browning? No, they're trying to tighten the immigration issue, the same reason why we're trying to tighten the immigration issue because of terrorism,
White
because
fear.
of criminals. Oh, but they call it white fear, right?
Yeah,
It's white fear because, oh, it's the replacement theory, which is probably where he's going to go.
How they have been pushing back against immigration because, frankly, their white birth rates have been going down.
Ah,
Well, the
there it
bottom
is.
line is you need
So
people. So this notion of great replacement.
it's so freaking typical with these people. It's so typical. Jesus.
What's
theory.
interesting, but you know what's interesting about saying that the white birth rate has been going down? Maybe it's by choice. Maybe they just don't want to have babies.
Yeah, I
Well,
thought they were
maybe
okay
because
with
we're
choice.
mixing them all up and everyone's becoming a little mutt running around.
Exactly. How do you quantify the white birth rate going down when you have
Right.
a lot of interracial relationships happening?
Yes. Yes. I don't even know what that means. But anyways, let Moron continue to speak.
So they have a fear of the browning while interracially connected with
Yeah. While making brown
dark,
babies.
dark melanated people. I mean, this is incredible. And it's so extreme. And then they're saying that the extremism is from the right. This is incredible.
So what is now happening? You're now seeing these countries now shift to these far right candidates, these fascist candidates who are using the rhetoric of nationalism.
Got
the
it.
exact same thing Donald Trump uses. The exact same.
Jamaica has nationalism. China has nationalism.
Mm,
Iran has nationalism.
mm,
But you're not calling China a fascist country.
mm,
You're not calling Iran a fascist.
mm.
Iran is more fascist than what we want to talk about. If we want to say fascist, obviously you wouldn't attribute the word to them fascist. However, they would be the ones that I would, and when I think fascism, they would be number one. Why? Women cannot walk freely as by themselves if they're not married. They have to be accompanied with a man.
Correct.
They have to wear their hijab, a head covering. And yes, it is religious. Yes, this is a sacrament, but there is no freedom to defy that. Like in America, you could be a Christian today, and on the weekend at night, you can go home with someone and and not a Christian. But ain't nobody gonna kill you for it. You know what I'm saying?
This
Right?
is true.
So in Iran, I mean, granted, I've heard some things in the Middle East that they people like to get away with, but they don't like to talk about it. Anyways, if a woman tries to do exactly what men are doing, they will be stoned to death. That
Interesting.
that kind of control, that is that kind of patriarchy, the indictments to hurt the trauma that they indict America with, sounds like to me some of those countries. And in fact, they fight for those countries more than they fight for the country that gives them the freedom. How do you figure that? Incredible. All right.
Same thing the Republican Party uses, because what they are scared to death, they're scared to death of white people
Wait.
losing.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Why are we listening to an eternally hungry black man? Wow. Wow. AJ, I wish you were here. I wish you were in this realm with us so you could ask these ruthless questions and people can see it come out of your mouth. It's great.
They just need to hear him say it.
Yeah. Like we could have him on the show and he'll just be the guy just saying outlandish shit. Just like, why, I remember when there was a live the other day and he just triggered the mess out of somebody. And he said, what did he say? He said something like, "Oh, I ain't got time for you monkeys," or something like that, right?
Well, that's
And when
nothing new.
you're right, so he said that, and it was some person that came into the live, which we all booted because he got real triggered. And he
Right.
was like, "Oh, how can you refer to us like that? How could you talk about us like that's disgusting? You acting like this, ba 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 ba." Block. Like it's like like we like the stuff that comes out of AJ's mouth. I'm just like, oh,
That part. Be like, oh, Mr. Rant Room has entered the building. Don't play.
He's making it clear. Here it is.
Yes.
Power, losing control. And so how do those white voters, what do? They coalesce around their candidates and they're voting in their numbers. I keep telling black people, let me be real clear. These white folks are holding on to this thing as long as they can. You are seeing the enthusiasm on their side. And again, I get folks out there saying, well, we haven't gotten this and gotten that. Let me be real clear. That's not a damn thing that black people say they want. And Greg, I saw this thread you were on a little bit earlier, and this fool was just talking. Let me be real clear, everybody watching. There's not a damn thing you want that the right is gonna give you. Not one of them.
All right.
Wow.
Not one of them.
All right.
That's right.
Not one.
This is
Who's he
where
speaking for?
this is where I start to have problems and why people in the black community, whatever community that is not white, for goodness sakes, have issues with following people today. There's such a freaking interior motive. There's an agenda. It's like, oh, if you go that way, you're not going to get what you're looking for. And to add to that, we're going to turn our backs on you. We're going to call you a coon. We're going to call you all types of names. And it's like, wait, whoa. I thought we were cool. Like, it's okay to disagree, but why you coming at me? Why you say I'm tap dancing for the white man? What happened here? right?
That part.
This is what starts to frustrate me, why most people won't support big movements, because all it's trying to do is what AJ put in the chat. It's called scare tactics.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
something to be said about being isolated or to be a nomad in theory, right? If I'm
Yeah.
not a part of the group, if I'm not a part of the herd, there's something about feeling isolated and alone. Some people could handle it, some people can't. Some people could be like, look, I don't care where you guys go, I'm going that way, and go on their own. Or some people be like, I don't agree with you, but I'm going to be there with you.
Right.
For example, I was just having a conversation with someone. I said, let me ask you something. I've known you for a while. You are a conservative. You hang around a bunch of liberals, top to bottom. And a liberal just recently said to this person that if I ever knew anyone who voted for Trump, I can't be their friend. Now, this person never voted for Trump, but their family has. Their family supports Trump. This person's never voted, just like me. I've never voted before. That's soon going to change. But for me, it's like, okay, I want you to tell me, and I'm gonna apply the AJ theory here. I want you to tell them where you stand, and tell me, are they still going to be your friend? Because they won't. Is an ulterior motive, an agenda. A friend is a friend no matter where you stand with your politics. A friend is a friend no matter where you stand, where you go here, where you go there. Hey, I'm going to make this decision. I'm going to go that route. No, I don't like how you're going to do that. Well, that you're not my friend based on my decisions, are you? You're my friend because we've developed that friendship. We've learned that camaraderie, that respect, that understanding with each other. But no, there's ulterior motives here. I'll be your friend because you sound like me. I'll be your friend because, hey, we both hate Donald Trump. I never said I did.
Right.
Right? So I tell people, tell your friends. Tell them who you really are. And I guarantee you'll feel that isolation that most people of color, however you ascribe to saying it, whatever term you want to give us, black, brown, browning, whatever. I want you to be honest. Say it like you mean it, mean what you say, and watch that feeling that you're going to feel. It's not loneliness. I promise you. It's freedom. Because you don't have to subject yourself to someone else's opinion. You don't have to subject yourself to someone else's, oh, you're accepted or you're not. I don't care. I don't give a damn what you think, what you want. BIPOC. So this whole nonsense that's going on here, this is herd mentality thinking. This is a way to say, if you don't fit in the fold, guess what's going to happen to you? You're not going to get what you're looking for. The Republican bad, white man bad, black person good, right? Like, it's like, wait, why can't I just look at people for who they are and what their character is? This is what looking at character means. I don't need to look at your skin tone, your skin color, I need to know who you are and what you're about. Are you about that business or what?
All y'all folk who get reparations, there is not a single Republican who supports reparations. Not one. So I can guarantee you they're going to make sure that never happens. Okay? Let's just be real clear.
Not a single Republican supports reparations, but you want to know why you got that big stimmy, sir? You want to know why? You want to know who started stimulus? Look no further than a Republican, dum-dum. His name was George Bush. Say what you want about the guy. I know a lot of people don't like George Bush. I didn't like a lot about him. I didn't. George Bush, the young Bush, the son, not the
this
the
guy
son.
is nauseating.
No, I want you to be nauseating. I want you to get fired up. All right, this morning, get fired up this morning. Started with George Bush when he started issuing out stimulus. Guess what? The biggest stimulus package was signed by a Republican initially by Donald Trump. 1.2 trillion or billion, was it? Billion. It was billion.
Is this guy almost over?
Let's see. Wait a minute. You know what you just sound like right now?
What? This guy's an idiot.
Wait, like you're in that situation, right? And you're just there like, all right, it's whack, and you're like, is it almost over? Or
Shit is whack. Done yet? Like, what the fuck is happening?
You just wake me up when you finish. All
Like, this is so painful. And it's so painful because I'm just like, what are we doing and why are we listening to him? Like, he's getting so much airtime.
Well, the reason why is because if you know, he has a huge following, this guy,
I don't of course he does. How
right?
many of them did he
And
buy
how
and pay
how do
for?
we stand in the arena with these folks? By we have to challenge them. Just challenge it. That's why he's getting that airtime. Look at AJ laughing. AJ. So
Anyways.
these people are having Tariq Nasheed. You ever heard of him?
No.
Okay. Dr. Umar, whatever the hell his name is. These guys get a lot of steam with their rhetoric. And
Okay, but we know why, because there's so many Kikis in the world.
That's just dirty. That's
What?
dirty.
It's
That's
true.
dirty.
Like, this guy is
What is a Kiki?
literally
What is a Kiki? Can you describe to the public what is a Kiki?
blind black man in America.
So it's the opposite theory of
BBMA.
Chappelle when Chappelle he was the blind black person that thought he was white.
Yes. Like, if you listen to Kiki's nonsense that he spews, he sounds like this idiot. You know, everyone doesn't want any more Browning, but there's more. I'm telling you, if you look at the Gen X generation, that just my generation, there were more mixed kids born into that generation than any
Yep.
other.
Mm-hmm. After
So
the
what does
baby
that tell you?
boomers,
Yes,
that's
there were more
it
mixed
was
children.
very binary,
Yes.
where everyone was in their group. Something happened after the Vietnam War, everyone was mixing. Peace,
Yes.
remember? The peace, love.
Yeah.
What was it? The circle with the, that sign?
Whatever.
That peace
Like, there was
sign?
more mixed babies born during that time. So what
Mhm.
are they talking about? Like, it's interesting how they put these stigmas on Europe. He's probably never even been there.
Europe has never had the issue of Browning, this whole thing that he's talking about.
Let
That's
him
right.
tell it.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell
But
he's
you
talking
can
about.
go there, they don't care. Like, they
No,
don't care.
they don't care. No.
They don't care. They welcome you. Like, come on, hey, come hang out with us.
There
So I
is
don't
some
understand what he's
there
talking
is
about.
there is some European countries that are not very friendly to same-sex relationships, to race.
Okay.
Yes, they are. They are, sure. But if
Which
he's talking
countries are
about
those?
you got Prague.
No, that's not true. You can go to Prague and they don't mistreat you.
They're not gonna mistreat you, but they do not like same-sex relationships.
Okay, well, I'm not in the same sex, but I mean, I'm
Yeah.
talking like brown skin. They don't care about your skin color.
So you're telling me that so no European country has an
No,
issue with skin color,
you say Prague, that's the Czech Republic.
which is a European country. It's a
Yeah,
European.
I was just there last June. They don't give a shit.
So what about
They probably, you know
Croatia?
what they care more
What
about?
about
I'll tell you what,
Croatia?
I've never been to Croatia, but I'll tell you what they care more about. You ready?
What's that?
That you're American. So the pushback that we tend to get is that we're American. They like even London, Paris. They don't like our blue passports.
I like sex relationships. Oh my god.
AJ. They don't like our blue passports.
Child, let
So
us know. Let us know. Spill the tea, child.
Jesus. Yeah, but they don't like our blue passports. So you tend to get a little bit more pushback just being American and not being anything other than. So most countries that don't.
I like the taco, Ted said.
Oh my God. What is going on? Hello?
Blame
back,
AJ.
people.
AJ started this. AJ started it.
Bring it
It's
back.
Tuesday
Oh my
morning. It is
goodness.
Tuesday morning, folks. It's
My
Tuesday morning.
goodness.
Just letting y'all know. And
Bring it
speaking
back.
of, I really want to get either a couple or a person, Keisha, if we can talk relationships, right? Dating, sex life, all that stuff. I'd love to get that conversation going. Why not?
Okay. So which is it? You want a couple or you want a person?
Whoever we can grab and get on the show. How about that?
I mean, we already know that AJ thinks marriage is mundane sex.
I want AJ in on that conversation too.
So we already know that.
So we're gonna have that whole
Oh my
conversation.
God. Tuesday is the best morning to hit it before work. I'm Done.
Wait, why Tuesday? I'm curious. Why
He'll
Tuesday?
say
Why
it
not
tomorrow on
Monday?
Wednesday. He'll say it again on Thursday, and he'll
It's
double
like
down on Friday.
Monday. Took it to late on
On
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
We be
we
making
make
love by
love
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And on Thursday and
Okay,
Friday and
fine.
Saturday, jail on Sunday. Okay. Yeah. Uh
Sorry, guys.
all right.
Craig
No,
David.
what do you got to be sorry for? That was a good song. That was the jam.
Craig
Morning
David.
sex is morning sex is
You see, it's all these men. It's all the
not good.
men.
I will say this: I'm not particular on time. Time doesn't matter to me.
Oh
Right? I'm
my
not. I don't get
God.
more excited. I'm sorry. It's there. It's there. AJ opened the door. Right? I'm
Oh my
sorry.
God.
I'm not
No.
particular on time. I
Okay.
don't get more aroused in the morning than I do at night or in the middle of the day. I think that's,
Oh my
I
God.
guess, something that we paint in our head,
Okay. Oh, who paints in their head?
just generally. Like,
AJ prefers nighttime.
getting more aroused at a park versus at a home or in a car versus I generally doesn't matter.
Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
matter.
Doesn't
Like,
matter. Got
what
it.
does it
Got it.
matter? I mean, even you want to change the scenery, sure, it's still the same act. You know. Let's see. Let's
Oh
see
my
what
God.
folks.
Look at all these. I wake up ready to roll. I'm
I prefer
crabby in the morning.
nighttime. They have much
Morning
time
and
to think.
midday, not time. What? I don't know what.
Morning time, midday. Okay. I wake up ready to roll. Okay, so you got that fire and desire, Snowman. Okay, I got you.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. This shit is
Yeah.
crazy.
Crabby as fuck. I'm actually a morning person, by the way. Big time. I work nights and I'm a morning person.
Oh,
Love the
okay.
mornings. Love, love, love the mornings. When I smell, there's like a certain smell in the air in the mornings.
Is that right?
I don't know how to describe it. I really don't, especially
Mm,
in the fall and the winter when you first feel that cool air slip through the
okay.
window crease and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
smacks you in the face. There's a smell to that. I
Oh, is
love
there?
that smell.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. I like sunrise. Yeah. Yeah.
The smell
All
of
right.
rats. The smell of rats in New York
In New
City.
York.
Facts. It's nasty, disgusting,
Wait.
decrepit, and crummy
Well,
here.
in New
That's for
York, the
sure.
smell ain't ever good.
No,
All
it's not.
right. Well,
When
I'm
I
so
and,
glad that
and
all the
believe me,
gentlemen chimed in on the morning hour. When's the best time to do it? I'm glad that we got that out of the way.
well, it appears to me that we have to have a conversation with relationships, dating, all that stuff because we get the chat more engaged. Why not? We talk about everything here on the Morning Fix.
Oh, do we?
Politics, life. Yeah, we
Do
have
we?
sports
Okay.
hour for goodness sake. So we talk
Okay.
about
Okay.
everything.
Okay. Sports hour is one thing. AJ telling us he loves sex relationships is another. You know what? On that day, that's a conversation that
Like
you
no
and
strings
Mr.
attached, or that's what we're
Like
talking
you
about,
and Mr.
AJ. Like,
Rant Room can have because he's all about that combo.
but what I'm saying is like no strings attached, or like,
What
do
is
you
that?
want to
What is
have
no? First of all, what does no strings attached mean?
meaning that we're not together, right? You're not gonna dictate to
Okay.
me, and we're not
Listen.
tethering.
In a male world, that may work. In a female world,
There are
they're
strings.
attached.
There,
So
there
no
are
matter what we
strings.
say out of our mouths, no matter the nonsense in which we speak, we
Listen up, y'all.
consider this attached.
So then
That's how
why
men are.
do the luring in? Like, nah, don't worry about it. It's nothing. This is casual.
Because we think that we can do it until we're doing it.
Ah,
And
got it.
then
Got it.
it's a
See?
wrap.
Mhm.
And in order to be friends with benefits, you have to be friends. 3 bumps in a bear down.
Oh
You have
man.
to you have to if you're friends, there's already a connection, there's already some form of a relationship there.
Wait, hold on. We have no. He means that you must want to fuck and be able to go 100 when you're in a relationship. Okay.
Okay. So, but I'm just saying, like when you're friends, quote unquote, when you're a friend with someone, there's already a connection to that person. So friends with benefits never really works because someone always gets hurt in that situation.
They think that cooch will bring us around. There it is.
Woo!
There it is, Snowman. That's what it is. They'll lure us in with the "Don't
Ooh.
worry, it's casual. Oh, this is it." It's
No, okay. First of all,
so
first of all, women are emotional creatures. Okay, so we like that emotional connection. So I'm just saying that most women who actually technically have a friend, a true friend with benefits, women are not capable of maintaining those strings. Exactly. A true friend, like if we're using the term friend in its real terms of a friend, you're already attached to that person. So if you start to add the physical dynamic to it, that is where it goes downhill. Now, if it's some rando that you met and you just like call up on Fridays to come over, different ball game.
right, but the Friday consistency means familiarity. So
No,
there
you
is
know,
still
no,
strings. There's still strings.
no, you know what creates that? Conversation.
From the conversation creates the strings.
Yes.
Got you.
That's the
Got you.
so when you start to engage someone on a different level, so when you're talking to a person regularly, how's your day? What's going on? And you're having conversation, that's how the strings
So
become attached. If you're just like if you're just hitting a text like you busy, nah, roll through. Okay. Like, and that's the only time you talk to the person. No, there's no strings.
So I've spoken to a lot of young people in the years that I've been where I've been. They always claim on both sides, no strings.
Okay.
I can't tell you countless times. Always somebody gets hurt on the end of the deal. So somebody's gonna get hurt.
Correct.
And some of you fellas out there will say, "Oh, it's always the females." Think again. More often, it's the males than the females. I've heard it countless times of how men just get hooked when the woman is just more and more like, whatever, right? Because there's this game that I see happening. And I'm not saying it's a woman or male thing. There's a game that happens, right? Where people will be like, "Oh, I don't care." And the person who doesn't
morning.
care is tethering and pulling control of the person who does. That's what I've seen. That's what I've seen. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Oh
Why are you
my
laughing? What the hell are you laughing about?
God, really?
What the
You're
hell are
so
you laughing about? It's true.
so full of shit.
I've
You're
seen
so
it.
full of shit.
How am I
No.
full of shit?
It's these
It's
fucking
true.
quiet ones who don't talk about shit, who be pretending like they innocent, and then you get behind closed doors, and all of a sudden their game is on just point. They be talking all kinds of stuff and whispering in your ear. Let's keep it
Sure,
100.
sure. But I'm talking about the grand scheme, not about in public sphere or private sphere. I'm talking about
Whatever.
generally speaking, from what I've seen, is
Yeah.
that when a person doesn't care, like
Uh-huh.
just think of it generically, okay? Follow
Okay.
me here.
Sure.
When a person acts like they don't care, like they just hit and run and then, oh, I'll see you when I see you. There's something about that because there's a control paradigm. There's a pull here.
Okay.
Oh, why is it just when I see you when I see you? Isn't it supposed to mean something? Then you start playing in their minds, all this shit, whatever. Unless you find the person that don't give a fuck and they're there with you. And they're like, all right, equally as capable. But I've seen it more often than not. People get hurt at the end of the deal. Someone's getting hurt.
Yes, because you get hurt when you don't
The
enter
chase. The chase. Yes, Heather.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, but when you don't enter the situation honestly.
Oh, that
So
people don't enter honestly because they
yes,
just want to
and you
get the
go
deed done.
no, it's not even just that. Like Snowman said that they think that if, you start to have these physical relationships, you'll pull the person in. If you enter the situation honestly, like, hey, this is cool and not, but I'm looking for X or Y or Z, or I'm feeling you or whatever. Like if you're having real conversations, how can you get hurt? You only get hurt when you're not being honest. You're not communicating. So if you enter
Yes.
with an expectation, you will get hurt. If you
That's
just walk
why.
into this like, "Hey, let's just enjoy each other while we together and then keep it pushing."
And you just confirm my original statement why men often get hurt in these deals than women do because women are honest at times in these deals. It's the men who are non-emotional, like it doesn't matter. It is
Right.
what it is, whatever. But when a person is like so available and then they're not, like Heather said, the chase, there's there's that pull, there's that tug and play right
Yeah, but
now.
if there's already a boundary, if there's already a foundation, and it's just like,
Look,
I'm
look at
not
AJ.
trying to do
See, he's been
we
hurt.
know we know he been hurt, that it's projecting out.
No, he's probably saying he's been hurt in the deal that I'm talking about, not real, like relational. He's probably talking about the deal
Yeah, I
I'm
think
talking
everyone
about.
has, but we live in a society of being non-committal, right? So like right now, everyone's living in this non-committal space, right? Everyone's poly, everyone wants something extra. Like it's just the space that we live in this day and age. So like
Sorry,
monogamy
I'm
is
sorry,
boring.
Ted. I'm sorry about that.
Oh shoot, wow. I'm sorry. Wow,
So
that was the least.
so we're living in a realm where we're non-committal. I think the non-committal lifestyle has been around for about 50 years or so.
No,
So
it's
we've
worse now.
of
Everyone
course,
is like,
yeah, of
there's
course.
very few people, like, no lie, King Grifter was live and it came up on my FYP. I'm pro poly. King Grifter was live and he came up on my FYP and he had the Voodoo Bay in his live, and on her way he was doing speed dating. And on the way out, she said,
My idea,
yeah,
by the way.
okay. Well, he is King Grifter. Um, and then she said on her way out, she goes, "Shoot your shot." She's married. She goes, "Shoot your shot. I'm poly." I'm like, "Ain't this about a bitch?"
Who's Polly?
Voodoo Bay. The
Mm.
Voodoo Bay. The one that sits there and speaks so properly. And you know that our ancestors are the Voodoo Bay.
Yeah,
On her
sound
way
like
out,
a
she said,
phone
"Shoot
sex
your
operator.
shot."
She likes
Yeah,
to
she said,
whisper.
"Shoot your shot. I'm poly."
I
I'm
don't
just
like
like,
that shit. I don't like that shit. You said you're married. Now you switching up. I don't like that. First off, come on. What are we doing?
what are we
And
doing?
that's what I'm talking about with this freaking app, this TikTok joint, because people like to play around. You know, for example, people like to show themselves, right? We see those thirst traps. We have
Right.
thirst trap lives where people are just showing themselves. And one thing it's all fun and games because you're behind a phone and screen, you protect it. You're well insulated. Because you know damn well you ain't gonna be flaunting yourself like that in a room packed full of
You know
a
what?
bunch of,
Listen, hold on. Listen, you know what the best part about AJ, anytime he references marriage, he always calls it a contract.
it is a
If that's
contract.
your contract. No, but that he doesn't even call it marriage. He always says, if that's your contract. I don't know what your contract agreement is. He does it every time. It kills me.
It is a contract because
It's deeper than a contract. It's deeper
most
than a
people in
contract.
America do not get married in this country because of religion. Most people in America they get married by religion, but they do not get married because of it.
What do they get married for, Macho?
Contractual reasons.
What's the contractual reason?
Maybe it could be money, it could be
Oh, see?
tax
Mm,
allocations. It's all about money.
mm, mm.
They think
Okay.
they know what marriage is until they really read what marriage is
Mhm.
In the Quran or in the Bible. If you really know
Okay.
what marriage is, for example, this whole idea of divorce, where is it in the Bible?
Okay.
Ah! And if your husband dies,
Moving on to the contract.
women do not get married again, right? They stay widow for they stay
Yeah, moving on to the
all right.
contract.
All right.
We'll just
All
keep
right.
falling into the contract. So we all should just get married for contractual reasons. We should just all marry each other for health insurance. We don't even need to love each other. We'll just get married.
Relationships are a contract? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a
Okay.
friendship with AJ is a contract.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, you break the contract and he sends you to
A covenant is different, not a contract. That's different.
whatever. Anyways,
Contract is something we sign. We didn't sign
anyways,
shit.
you
But
you guys see it differently than us women see it.
see
So it
what?
just is
See
what it
what?
is.
See
Just
what differently?
everything. That's the problem.
What's the
Women,
problem?
we are emotional creatures. You men are cold.
No, we're not. We're more emotional than you think.
Oh, well, then you should show it. That would be nice.
Why? First off, why? Hell no. That's unsafe. You want men just
Oh,
walking around
unsafe.
here feeling? Look at what's going on in the society. Too much feeling going on. They're dressing like women. They're
Oh,
killing
no, no,
each
no, no, no,
other.
no. How did you get from men to people who dress like women? They're not men.
Because you're saying they should show their emotions
They
more. That's what
should.
happens. That's what
Men should
happens when they
be
show their
more kind to us sensitive creatures. Instead, you guys be like stiff
more
arming us
chivalrous.
and
You want more
acting out like
chivalry.
assholes and like you fucking trying to win the Heisman.
You want more chivalry. That's what you want. You want the
Yeah, just
respect,
be
the honor.
kind.
Be
Yeah, like
kind.
when you're moody, don't be like blaming it on us, trying to bite our heads off because you having a bad day.
That's the original sin. The woman you gave me, God. The woman you gave me. That's the original sin.
Whatever.
All right.
Take a break.
All right. We're going to have more conversations like this. I've never seen the chat buzz like this, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you, AJ, for starting the conversation.
Of course,
Yeah,
AJ
don't
did.
don't
And then he came
whatever
in.
it. Don't you whatever it, because the chat was blown up. Everybody was talking.
Yeah, but
and
you're
that,
talking a bunch of nonsense. Like if we're gonna have the conversation, we should really have the conversation. And that asshole AJ, he should be in here. He started this mess, and he should have
facts.
to come in here and speak on it.
Where's
That's your
Jafar?
friend,
Jafar.
Jafar. Don't bring that asshole here. We don't want to see Jafar. Go ahead.
All right. So this was the debate between Marjorie Greene Taylor and Marcus Flowers, and it got real heated. It was a short debate, but it got real heated, and it gets out the gate, gets heated. Let's cover this debate right here, folks.
Nearly 20 Republicans and 20 Democrats have run against Ms. Greene in the last two elections, 20 candidates total. Each one has had a strategy that has been, I am not MTG. In your race.
How did I jack her name up? Did I say it wrong? Marjorie Greene Taylor or Marjorie? Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is that what it is?
Cares?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
He's not here. He doesn't get to speak. Who cares?
I don't know. It's a 3-name.
Say it however you want. Who cares? Stupid bitch.
Listen,
How about that?
it's like the Ricans. The Ricans got Enrique Grecia de Mucha de Rivera de Anchario de Berrio, and it's the entire name. I'm lost.
Oh, there you go. MTG. There you go.
Yeah,
Somebody's
MTG.
helping you out. Let's do it.
Thank you.
In the last week alone, 37 emails have come to our Rome News Tribune server from your candidate, from your account, saying the same thing. I'm not MTG. What is your platform?
Oh, he said it too.
Well, thank you for that question, John. First and foremost, I am running as Marcus Flowers, not Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know, I got into this campaign because of the events of January 6th and Congresswoman Greene's participation in that.
Oh, God. Here we go.
You know, this is about so much more than just...
I could see how this got heated. I could see how it got heated. He just accused her of being implicitly involved in January 6th. I want to see if she runs her mouth. Let's see.
Having a representative who doesn't represent our district, but it's about our democracy.
His teeth are too big for mouth.
And not running as MTG has never been my platform. Yes, people see that we have an outsized social media account, but that's not the secret sauce of this campaign. We've knocked over 70,000 doors in our district, had those real conversations with the people.
Don't ever pause the hell up. Pause. Don't ever use secret sauce on a debate stage. What you talking about?
Okay, well, that's because his teeth are too big for his mouth. He can barely keep them in.
Is that what's going on? That's why he keeps.
Yeah, he can barely keep his teeth in his mouth.
Oh my God.
Northwest Georgia, our local leaders, our mayors, our commissioners, our city council members, and yes, our law enforcement officials. And every one of them that I've talked to, almost to a person,
drink some water,
has said Marjorie Taylor Greene is not who they want representing them. So yes,
whoever did his veneer did a shit job.
Not MTG. Thank you.
Joshua, it's your turn. I need a rebuttal to that. You cannot accuse me of insurrection.
Okay,
I was a victim of the January 6th riot.
What the problem is with her off top? I'm going to tell you, this is why women don't get respected. You see how she's sleeveless?
Oh, tell me about that. Okay. Yeah.
She should not be in this forum, in this environment with no sleeves. She should have on sleeves. Her arms should be covered.
Why?
Because it's not professional. You can't enter a courtroom like that. It's not professional. You need to present yourself in a way that's professional. And that being sleeveless is not it. So look, her shirt is dropped down into a V and she has no sleeves.
I didn't think of that. You think this is why she gets in trouble, or this is why women get in trouble in politics?
Yes, because it doesn't matter like what we think or what we feel, right? At the end of the day, there's a level of professionalism. If you walked into a boardroom in a meeting, you can't walk in sleeveless. You would have on a jacket, you'd have on even if it's a short sleeve, you would have sleeves. So she
She
has on
can't
the
even be.
V-neck.
She can't even be on the congressional floor like this. By the way,
No,
right? Yeah.
right.
Okay.
She
Okay.
yeah, so like why would you come to a debate with a V-neck, low cut, and no sleeves? Like, what the fuck is this? Go ahead. Anyways,
AJ.
see,
AJ.
see,
AJ. AJ.
we don't have sleeves on anything. She's redneck like me. We don't have sleeves on anything.
That could be what she's embodying right now.
Oh
That
my
could
god.
be. Yeah.
Oh my god. Go
Remember,
ahead.
she's got to represent the constituency here. Maybe that's what it is. I
Oh
don't
my,
know.
that's good. That's good.
Just as much as any other member of Congress. That was the third day I had on the job. I had nothing to do with what happened there that day, and I will not accuse me of that. That's wrong of you to do. You're lying about me, and you will not defame my character in that manner.
Did Joe Biden win the election, Congresswoman Green?
Joe Biden is the president of the United States.
Absolutely, but you pushed a big lie that said he did not win the election.
There was
and
election fraud.
you drove those
Proven.
people to
There
the
was
Capitol
election
on
fraud.
January
There was
6th.
I like, you know what? I like that she don't back down though. Right?
Okay.
She could have caved and been like, all right, you know what? No, she said it's been proven that there's election fraud. All right.
Surprised she
So what you
doesn't
think?
have
What you
on her hair.
what you think? What you think is going to happen here? You think I'm just going to back down to you because you're coming at me because did Joe Biden won? Did Joe Biden? What do you think the answer is? Dum dum. I see Joe Biden in the freaking whatever I have to say again. Yesterday, I'm gonna go back to it. Whether I think he's president or not, does it matter? He's still there.
Right.
So what the hell does it matter? Marcus, why are you at? Did Joe Biden win? What are you asking? What are you at? Why don't you say what you're asking? Do you think, why don't these Democrats say what they're asking? Do you think it was a free and fair election?
Okay, but
That's
they
the
all,
question.
yeah,
Damn
but
it.
they all ask the same question. They all ask the same question. It's all
Jesus,
in the
it
script.
pisses me off. It pisses me. Just ask the damn question. Did Joe Biden win the damn president? Motherfucker, do you see what I see? The guy's in office, right? He's eating ice cream. He's over there holding Gretchen Whitmer's hand, right? He's over there shaking hands with
Sniffing
ghosts.
children.
He's there. He's sniffing children. I see what I see. You see what I see, right? We are when you okay. You're not asking me did he win the presidency. You're asking me was it a free and fair election? And you're insecure. Every single Democrat is insecure to ask that question because they're afraid of where that may go. That's what's really going on. They're really scared.
With your lie.
We're going to move on. Josh Rowe, it's your turn.
No,
to
no,
ask
no,
a
no
question.
move on.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Up. What are we moving on to? Let them duke it
Okay.
out.
Look at the disrespect. He just smiles with his fake teeth. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, he's a coward.
Evidence
me.
of proof of election fraud that came out.
Excuse me. We're ready to move on to the next
Okay,
question
but
for
he's
you.
not going to accuse me of a crime.
Would you
when
like
I
your
have not
question?
committed
Would you
one.
like your
I
question?
don't like your
Yes,
question.
ma'am,
I don't
I
want
would.
your
Thank
question.
you.
I don't want
Thank
it.
you.
I would have
Liar,
said.
by the way.
There's a crisis in your district tonight. I'm going to lay this out as quickly as I can here. The future of the DACA program is in jeopery in the courts. You have a bill that would eliminate DACA. You said this on Twitter 10 days ago. A plan must be developed, and that's an accurate statement, right? I talked to one of the state reps there in Dalton this week, Republican. He tells me that if DACA goes away, 10% of the labor force in Dalton also would go away. A huge part of the economic engine.
Why are we doing this? That question sounds to me like Nancy Pelosi.
Okay.
Oh, who's going to pick your crops? Who's going to do? Is that what migrants are for? Is that what they see migrants as?
Apparently, DACA is such a sensitive thing, so that's why they want to talk about it.
Yeah,
But
I would not even entertain that question. I'll just sit there and be like, oh, so that's how you see migrants. That's beautiful. You see migrants the same way the House Speaker does.
Yes.
As the hired help. Got it.
Yes.
In your district, right? You got people who live in every county in your district who work in Dalton, get a paycheck there, take that money back to other counties, buy homes, pay taxes, goods and services.
Really?
So,
They
and I
pay
also
taxes.
asked, so what happens if DACA goes away? What happens in Dalton? He said, devastated. Devastated. So tonight, be clear with your
let's be clear what DACA is. DACA means what, Keisha? Because
Go
he
ahead,
didn't
tell her.
explain. A DACA is giving the opportunity of citizenship to the people who are born here.
Yes.
Okay. The issue that Republicans are trying to address, I don't know how we mince it. I think the man was very clear what he said, but they choose to be ignorant. They choose to want to make this a bigger issue. The
Yes.
man said, and the man I'm referring to is the man y'all hate, Donald Trump. He
Yes.
says it ain't right that you have people who are 7 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant, come across the border illegally, by the way,
Yes.
illegally,
Yes.
give birth to their child just to take advantage of the DACA opportunity. Why? Because DACA doesn't only give the right to citizenship for the person who was born here, but vicariously gives the right to citizenship to the person who just illegally
Came
crossed the
here.
border.
Yeah.
So make that make sense.
Be clear.
So let's see how she handles this. This is so incendiary and this is racist. This is racist. The fact that you're saying, oh,
White man is saying it.
10% of the workforce will be gone. What do you mean? What of the workforce will be gone?
The undocumented workers.
Oh, the undocumented. But wait a minute. Are we talking about right to citizenship, or are we talking about pathway to citizenship, or we just want to just vicariously and blindly and ignorantly just give them the right to be here? All right, cool. Criminals, you're welcome. Everybody, you're welcome. Go ahead.
District. What actually happens if DACA goes away, and then what is your plan?
Well, Josh, first and foremost, I swore an oath to the Constitution, and I represent the citizens of the United States of America, not DACA recipients. And I also represent our district that believes in strong borders. We've had over 5 million people illegally invade the United States of America since Joe Biden became president. Fentanyl is now the #1 cause of death in young people from 18 to 45, and they are using Narcan every single day in Northwest Georgia, which, by the way, is not next to the border of Mexico. Because of this border crisis, it has caused a human security crisis like we've never seen before. Joe Biden and his administration is the greatest business partner to the Mexican cartels that we have ever seen in United States history. The only thing that I'm going to do to represent Northwest Georgia and Georgia's 14th district and the workers and the businesses there is to legislate and vote so that they have a strong economy, they have job opportunities that will not be stolen by people that are illegally invading our country to steal their jobs. I know the representative you're talking about is probably Casey Carpenter, who seems to be more interested in representing illegal aliens than the legal citizens of Northwest Georgia.
Thank you. Your
That
time.
part.
Ooh, wow. I don't hear anything extreme. I just hear that she is cutthroat.
That part. No, she made it clear. She told him. He said, be clear. She was clear.
And she named names.
He told her, be clear. She was clear. On fire.
And by all means, I don't always agree with what this person has to say out of her mouth.
No,
right?
no. I don't agree with the fact the bitch has got her arms out, but that's neither here nor
You
there.
don't like that. So this is bad
No.
PR right here. Yeah, they should have let. Well, you know what? Like
No,
Michael
whoever
said,
her people are, they should have told her, don't do this. She should have her arms covered. I'm sorry. It's very casual. It doesn't look professional, and you need to present yourself professionally to the people. Sorry.
All right. So I don't know where this question is coming from. Anyone going to the border to clean the border up for Biden?
No.
Okay. What does that question mean? I don't know what that means.
Is anyone gonna go there to clean it up for Biden? No, no one's going there. Biden's an asshat.
I got it.
They don't
And
care
not
about the
even-
border. Oh, wait. The border is secure. My bad.
Right. So the
AJ,
borders
she's
are
secure.
isn't the borders are supposed to handle that? Whatever. All right.
Yeah, the
Time is
hyena.
up. John, your question for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
All right, Ms. Greene, since taking office on January 3rd, 2021, what is one specific accomplishment solely on behalf of the 14th Congressional District that is most important to you?
Well, I tell you what, it's been hard to pass any bills in a Democrat-controlled, Nancy Pelosi-controlled House of Representatives, a Senate that is controlled by one vote with Kamala Harris as the Democrat vice president, and a White House that is controlled by Democrats, Joe Biden. Now, what we've done to accomplish things for Northwest Georgia is I'm proud to be able to bring in money via grants to help our local sheriff's department and help local businesses there. We've also worked very hard with the flooding that happened over in Somerville. And so we've worked hand in hand with officials there and look forward to helping them more as damages and amounts of money come out. So I'm very excited to vote and to introduce bills that uphold the conservative traditional values of the people in my district, and I'll continue to do that.
All right, Josh, you get the final question. Did you have a rebuttal?
Yeah, I didn't hear an answer there, ladies and gentlemen. Representative Green said she's passed all these bills and brought money into our district. Well, you haven't. You know,
no, I voted no to Joe Biden's radical Democrat bills, Marcus.
Don't necessarily come from
Congress works.
Congresswoman Green.
Hold on.
People write grants for their organizations to get government money. That is competitive.
No, you're
if we had a congresswoman who was walking those grants through, perhaps. But Congresswoman Green, she can't take credit for good things that happen while our people suffer.
Marcus, we're going to give you your last question.
And I think Ms. Green was very clear. It's hard to pass when you have a controlled House by Democrats, controlled Senate by Democrats, controlled White House by Democrats, and still manage to get grant money. So, Mr. Marcus, if anyone who is making it hard for the people of your district, look no further than your own party, dum-dum. You just burned your damn self, Marcus. Congratulations. You played yourself, and it only took a few words out of your damn mouth. You just played yourself because you played right into her hands. It is the Democrat Party that's hindering you. What's that?
I wonder if those are veneers or dentures.
He's not the only one that has veneers. I think the president has veneers too. He's always sucking on his teeth and shit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's see what else we got.
Josh, you get the final question for Marcus Flowers.
Mr. Flowers,
you don't understand how it
you said it
works.
here tonight that the voters in Northwest Georgia want a different member of Congress. You've said that. You made that clear. But the numbers in the primary tell a different story. And to be clear, numbers processed by local election workers in Georgia and reported by the Georgia Secretary of State. She received 30,000 more votes this primary than 2 years ago. If you take your votes, all your Democratic challengers' votes, all of her challengers' votes, she still had 13,000 more votes than everybody else running. What evidence can you provide, other than anecdotal, that the voters in Northwest Georgia want a change?
Josh, it's not an anecdote that not everyone votes in a primary and a midterm. That's not anecdotal. In the last election cycle, more than 75,000 people voted against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, we brought people in from every corner of the district, newly registered people, and I've talked to, it doesn't matter if it's a Republican, independent, or Democrat. I've talked to everybody. And everybody that I talk to, Republicans come up to me every day with tears in their eyes saying, please, get rid of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Sure.
She doesn't represent us.
Sure.
She truly doesn't.
Okay.
And I've heard this time and time again, across the board.
I just took a nap.
A primary is not a general election. I guarantee
and gentlemen, what you're
that
hearing
in the primary,
Marcus Flowers,
you will see
who's a man
difference.
who wears a hat and doesn't own one single head of cattle. He's a liar, and all he has done is sent emails all over the country to raise money for himself, and he pays himself out of his campaign with your donation dollars. If you're a California Democrat sending money to Marcus Flowers, he's paying himself to run for Congress and pretend that he can beat me in a blood-red Republican district.
Hey.
None of his Democrat defund the police, America Last policies represent our district, and I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do get a response to that. Yeah.
Well, we need to really move on because we are so far.
Oh. She burned him there again. Jesus.
Well, you know what? It's not hard to burn this idiot.
He
Like
sounds
literally,
like
he's like this programmed robot that someone told him that if he speaks, with diction, people will take him seriously.
With diction.
Stop it. Stop it. What? It's true. I mean, somebody
It
said
is true. It is
if you
true.
speak with diction, then Miss Green. Every Republican that's come up to me has cried and said,
Cried to me.
"Get her out."
We can't have her here. I mean, she is not representing us.
She doesn't represent us.
She doesn't know our value system. But yeah, in a red district, they're gonna lean on you. Yeah, all right.
No, I'm just saying, but that's what he said. And it's a small world after all.
They're all
It's
the small world.
Okay,
Nothing
sorry.
nothing worse than a moist smack, said by Brian. He needs some burn cream on that. Yep. And he's not convincing or compelling. Fake as fuck. Agreed.
That part.
Behind. That
Definitely.
concludes the first round of the debate. The candidates will now ask a question to their opponents.
Shit.
Each
Round
candidate
one.
will have 30 seconds to ask
Green.
the question, 60 seconds to respond, and the candidate who asks the question will have 30 seconds for rebuttal. Now, by random selection, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you may ask the first question.
Absolutely. Marcus, you're a father, and you are a representative of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is the party of child abuse. It's the party that represents grooming children and sexualizing them in school, teaching anti-white racism in the terms of CRT education, and genital mutilation of kids. Kids that can't even get a driver's license, can't get a tattoo, and cannot vote. How do you...
Oh my God. Wow, this woman is piercing. She's piercing.
You stand there and represent the Democrat Party as a father, and do you believe in genital mutilation of children under the age of 18 and these puberty blockers that have severe health consequences?
Time for your
because
question.
I've introduced a bill to ban it and make it a felony to mutilate children's genitals. Do you stand by that?
Boy, that was a lot. And God bless you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you truly believe that I'm praying for you.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. You see, the problem is address it. You're gonna. So this is what most Democrats are. He just
hold
did
on, Macho.
what every Democrat has done.
I have to get ready to go. I need to
Go
hear
ahead.
this Negro's response.
Okay.
Hit the play.
I believe in this country. I believe in our democracy. And I believe in standing up for human rights. People come up to me every day and tell me how they feel attacked by you. And yes, I'm talking about children in our LGBTQ plus community. Every day, Congresswoman Greene, seniors, Latinos, blacks, men and women, every day. This is how she treats the people of Northwest Georgia and the people of America. Attacks, constantly attacking. That's not representative, Greene.
Wait.
You represent them.
I do. I represent and I will always protect children.
Whoa,
and that's why I
whoa,
introduced the Protect Children's Innocent Act to protect children who just may be confused about their identity. Kids need to grow up. They do not need to have mastectomies, castration, or take dangerous drugs that have serious health consequences. Marcus Flowers represents the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party is the party of child abuse. And we have to stand up and stop it right now. To protect children, we protect them.
Wait a minute.
Oh, she is sunning the shit out of this man. This is a complete mollywop. This is a mollywop.
Did he literally not address the issue of these children? Did he go back to the feelings of people again and how people keep running up to him like he's Captain Save-A-Ho? Did he do that again? She asked a very, very, very detailed question that pertained to the protection of our children and what is happening to our children. And this negative proceeds to tell people that she attacks and that she's mean and that people's feelings is hurt and people's running up to Captain Save-A-Ho and saying, please save me from her. He didn't even talk about the kids. He didn't even address it. She said that they're teaching this anti-white. He didn't even touch it.
Can we address this comment? You can't address an issue that doesn't exist. All right, let's do this.
Huh?
Let's do this.
What?
We can't. This doesn't exist now. Okay, let's do this.
Wow. I like this.
Not an example, right? There's no examples out there that says we can't fight this. All right. And so if I show you that there's an example of this, are you going to concede, Zoe? Will you concede to what you just said? Let me find that video for you.
Wow. Zoe coming in hot. Can address an issue that doesn't exist. Okay.
Let's do it.
Which issue is she referencing? I guess would be the better question. Because she.
Hold on.
Okay.
I have a video here. Are you willing to concede if I show you an example?
She said, of course.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Drugs typically used to chemically castrate high-risk sex offenders. Raising these important questions is not bigoted, and the refusal of activists to give straightforward answers should be seen as a major red flag. People across the entire political spectrum who believe that this practice is morally wrong have been told that they are fascists or bigots for even questioning this atrocity. Others have been convinced by self-proclaimed gender specialists that this is the only treatment that will not end in your child committing suicide.
All right, so let's go back a little further, Zoe. Let's go back a little further here.
Over the past decade, there has been as high as a 4,000% increase in children being referred to so-called gender clinics across the United States. I was one of these children. My name is Chloe Cole, and I am an 18-year-old former transgender child. I transitioned from the age of 12 up until 16 when I realized it all was a lie.
Okay. When did this person transition?
As a minor.
Okay. So is 12 years old considered a kid? Okay, so now let's go back, Zoe. Let's go back to when you had the sleeveless woman on fire here. Let's go back.
Macho, I gotta go.
All
So
right,
you
all
have to
right.
have this conversation with Zoe. I'm upset that I gotta go, but I gotta get out of here. I'll be listening.
We appreciate your appearance.
And
Thank you.
there it is, right there. She's coming for you. So get prepared. All right.
Here it is.
Oh, not happening. Hold on.
So
What do you mean it's not happening?
what was my initial question, Keisha? What did I say? Are you willing to concede? And
Okay, but
Zoe
she
just
just
proved my
said it's
point.
not happening.
Yeah, whatever.
We need to have Zoe in our space.
Sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get out of here. Macho, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for joining us. Zoe, we need to talk. And you guys all haven't wait. You haven't proven anything. I think we have an official troll. Okay, enjoy.
All right, Keisha, have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Wow.
Unreal. I said, what was my first question? Are you willing to concede if I have an example? That was my question. I have an example of a person who is now 18 years old who transgendered at the age at the starting process at 12. Do you need to see more of that video? Sure, let's do it. Let's do more of it if you need more. And I don't understand why people continue to play this game of being disingenuous, not having good faith. You think that I'm not being good faith? This is just one of many examples. We have people in the world who are talking to people about detransitioning. They are sitting down with them. There are websites out there. And now let me tell you something about those websites. They're trying to deplatform them because the agenda is not for that. But there are a lot of the people of the transgender community are offing themselves, unaliving or killing themselves, because I can say whatever I want here, are doing this because they're not happy at the end of the transition. So do not tell me it's not true. Talk to the people who transition and tell them it's not happening. You tell them that 14-year-olds are not getting double vasectomies. You tell them that they're not getting hysterectomies or taking puberty blockers. You tell them that they're not getting mutilated. You tell them they're lying. Not me, because I'm not insecure about my gender. I'm not insecure about who I am. But if you want to be disingenuous and not have good faith and meet people where they need to be met, then you can continue running your own blind life. That's all. That's fine. But here's more to that story here.
My story is a cautionary tale. Children and parents across the country have been caught off guard by gender ideology. Discussions about transgenderism and gender identity went from being a relatively benign social oddity to a doctrine that has invaded nearly every academic, medical, and educational institution, seemingly overnight. How did we get to this point? How did we get to the point where nearly every pediatric...
And again, you continue not being good faith. You're continuing to not be good faith. Everyone in the chat, what did I say? If I provide you an example, are you willing to concede that it actually is happening? All it takes is one person to prove that this is happening. You don't have a bunch of people to prove that there's an abuse. All there needs to be is one person to be abused. That has to be addressed. What Marjorie Taylor Greene is arguing is that this is in fact child abuse, because what you're doing is forcing an agenda and saying, with no questions asked, this is what you feel like, we'll start this process now. We'll put you on puberty blockers. We'll medically castrate you. We'll do all this stuff. And what did Marjorie Taylor Greene say? This could be a question about insecurity, and rather than working with them, they say, okay, we'll work on you physically. This is what this person is explaining. Let's continue.
institution in the country considers it best practice to remove the healthy breast tissue of children while administering drugs typically used to chemically castrate high-risk sex offenders. Raising these important questions is not bigoted, and the refusal of activists to give straightforward answers should be seen as a major red flag. People across the entire political spectrum who believe that this practice is morally wrong have been told that they are fascists or bigots for even questioning this atrocity. Others have been convinced by self-proclaimed gender specialists that this is the only treatment that will not end in your child committing suicide. I believe Americans deserve to know the truth about this radical and perverse ideology, marketed as necessary and life-saving healthcare.
And this is not a new phenomenon. Gender dysphoria has existed in this country for many years. If you want to continue to be disingenuous about that, that's fine. I provided the example on my channel. We can go back to that debate because I gave you the time and energy, because that's what this is all about. I will respond to people who disagree. I don't care about having an echo chamber here, but I provided the example. I said, if I provide to you an example, are you willing to concede? And you have yet to concede, and I provided that example. So I stand on the side of Marjorie Taylor Greene. You don't. You care about, you're allowing child abuse. I won't. So here, let's continue this.
Them for making serious mistakes that will last a lifetime. The same mistakes and regrets that many, many detrans people have right now.
Extreme examples and lies is what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing.
Extreme. Again, Mr. Flowers and Zoe, you can lie to us, but I want you to look at the people who have been lied to. You could talk to them. Tell them that it's not happening. Tell the people who transition and regret it and literally committed suicide because they still weren't happy, because it's called gender dysphoria. When people feel gender dysphoric, they're not happy in their skin. Something is wrong. Something is happening. And psychologists used to deal with the gender dysphoria. Now they're just enabling it, and doctors just don't care. Here you go. You want to transition? We'll mutilate you. We'll cut you up. Come on, guys.
To misrepresent me.
That's the time on this. I really need you all to follow up. 30 seconds for a question. 30-second rebuttal. Please don't talk over each other, because that really slows us down. All right, Marcus, your question.
Congresswoman Greene, I left my job as a government official to run this race because of January 6th and your part in it. My granddaddy was a sheriff. My uncles were police captains, one of whom who was injured in the line of duty. You know, you spent your time in Congress these last couple of years providing aid and comfort to the January 6th insurrectionists. My question for you is, why do you care more about those?
Oh, Mr. Full Service. By the way, anyone who doesn't know, on Sundays, we have a show here on the Morning Fix called Simply Sundays. And that is with the host, Mr. Full Service, aka Glenn. He has a great show going on Sundays. So I encourage all of you. He's had special guests. He's going to continue to have special guests. So if you want, check out Simply Sundays, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and tune into Simply Sundays. Yeah. How about Chloe Cole? We might want to address that, right? There's another example for you, Zoe.
Criminals in jail than you do about the people of our district.
You want to know something? I care about stopping the two-tier justice system that is happening right now in America. I was a victim of the January 6th riot, and I've said it over and over again. I'm completely against what happened on January 6th, but I will not stand by and watch Merrick Garland turn the Department of Justice into a political weapon and the FBI sending it after parents that are addressing their school boards.
Amen.
People that walked in the Capitol and have been held in jail for nearly 2 years while Antifa and BLM rioters go free and are.
Oh my God. There's a reason why she's not wearing sleeves, because this woman is on fire. She's on fire. Like I said, I don't always agree with what she said, but she is knocking it out the park this debate. Congratulations, District 14. You have your candidate, and it's going to be Marjorie Taylor Greene. Period. There's a reason why this woman keeps winning, because they just keep getting knocked down. You ever see a fly swatter? You got to be bigger than a fly to beat this woman. Period. The end.
Are never held accountable. I will always stand up for freedom, defend our freedom of speech, defend our Second Amendment, and defend everyone's ability to live the American dream. That's what I care about, and I truly care about representing those values and those abilities and freedoms for Georgia's 14th district.
So what I'm hearing is criminals over police officers. That's what I heard.
Wow. So the parents are criminals. Marcus, did you not just hear yourself? This is what I'm talking about with these Democrats. What are you talking about? Parents are criminals? Parents should have a say what is being taught to their children. How about this? Why are people being held in prison for 2 years, solitary confinement, for criminal trespass over a government building? I'm gonna pose this like this to everybody in the chat. Most of those people who are incarcerated for more than 2 years right now since the January 6th insurrection, or you want to call riot, whatever, insurrection, I don't care. It's criminal trespass. What those idiots did were criminally trespassing. That's it. At the end of the day, let me ask you something. For a criminal trespass charge, would you, as a black man, think it's okay to be held in solitary confinement? Let me tell you why I'm asking this question. Khalif Browder was held in jail for nearly 2 years. This is why we have the no cash bail clause now in New York City. And that virtually every other liberal city has taken up too. Why? Because it's not fair, because black people are disproportionately affected. They don't have money to pay for their lawyer, pay for their bail. And, Khalif Browder was held he was held discriminately, intentionally, because he's black. All the stuff that they made up. And what happened? It took his own life. Well, now, here are these social justice warriors now, so quiet. Don't have nothing to say about when there's a white man being put inside the jail discriminately. Oh, now they get to see what it feels like. I don't know if you guys know, in the early 1900s, a person, you had certain mobsters, you had certain people. I don't know if you guys also know that the FBI discriminately targeted against Italian Americans. I don't know if you guys know that. Again, the discrimination is not always about one set of people. There are certain various amount of people who have been discriminated at one point or another in this country, period, the end. You want to compare oppressions? You want to play the oppression Olympics about who gets the gold medal and down to the bronze? That's on you. But you will have to acknowledge that discrimination existed amongst many different demographics in this country. But the one that's touting it the loudest is these blacktivists. So again, did not answer the question, and you're continuing to raise this animus, and it's quite sad because we need to elevate our thinking here. I want to cover a bit of this. It's gonna stretch until tomorrow, but I want to tap into it today because I have it in the description of this debate between Brian Kemp and Stacy Abrams. So let's get that going. There's a lot going on in Georgia. We have the senator seat between Warnock and Walker, which, in my opinion, after watching that, I agree with AJ. Warnock got mollywopped by someone they claim is an idiot. That should tell you guys a lot. The burden of proof, the referendum is on Warnock, not on Walker. He's got nothing to lose. The fact that he couldn't knock that man out the water is sad. The one-liners that happened, destroyed. He killed him just with simplicity. That's what he did. And this debate that we just covered right now, with Taylor Greene and Marcus Flowers, no chance. No chance. All right, so let's look at this right here real quick. Let's take a stab in here.
The polls are a snapshot. The question is, who are they taking a picture of? When I'm going across this state, the people I'm talking to are excited about this election, but they also know that they're often left out of the conversation. Students who have found themselves struggling to finish college because they don't have access to financial aid. Families that are struggling to decide between food on their table and healthcare costs. Families facing rising prices. And everyone I've met is afraid of the gun violence and the rising violence in the state. I do not believe that I'm behind. I believe that I'm making the case for Georgia.
Why are they afraid of gun violence, Ms. Abrams? Why are they afraid of gun violence? Because candidates like you has raised suspicion and animus and criticism in ways that shouldn't have been raised. See, it's one thing to discuss the use of force tactics of police officers. It's another thing to say what they're doing is intentionally towards a demographic. You have done that. You have done that. So it's pretty sad to see them talk with their whole chest on this.
Case for electing me as the next governor, because the current failures we have seen in this state are not only damning, they are disqualifying. And over the next few years, we have an opportunity to change the trajectory of the state. And I look forward to leading our state forward.
Thank you very much. Greg Bluestein, it's your turn to ask a question of Brian Kemp.
Thank you, Donna. Governor, in recent weeks, 2 recordings have surfaced in which you left the door open, or you appeared to leave the door open, to questions about whether you'd push to ban emergency contraceptives and whether you'd back a statewide ban on the destruction of embryos. Can you tell us right now whether you'd push for these measures or any other additional restrictions on abortion now that the 2019 law is in effect?
No, I would not. I mean, look, we were at many campaign events. People come up, secret recordings, couldn't completely understand the conversation that's going on. But no, that's not my desire to do that. Georgians should know that my desire is to continue to help them fight through 40-year high inflation and high gas prices and other things that our Georgia families are facing right now, quite honestly, because of bad policies in Washington, D.C. from President Biden.
I'm not happy with the fact that he's deflecting, honestly. But I will say this. If you don't tamp down inflation, why are we talking about babies? Right? Baby, that just appeals to the argument of the Democrats, right? Their argument, Tim Scott raised this rebuttal that, do you think we should abort children? He asked the secretary, Yellen. He said, so aborting children out of the necessity of financial impact, the lack of resources of money, it should be that resource of abortion should be there. I do like that part of what he's doing, because if you don't tamp down inflation, if gas is too expensive, food is expensive, jobs, they say they're there for hire, but not willing to hire because they can't hire because of high taxes and tax brackets. This is all the result of the Democrat policies. So why are we talking about babies if then it feeds into the argument of, well, I want you to have babies, I want you to have that regard for life, but then we're going to go back and forth on this argument of, well, what about the lack of resource, lack of money, disposition? Well, you are putting them in this disposition. You're not making the way of life easier for these people. You're making it harder, which substantiates your argument for abortion. I'm against abortion and high inflation. You are for abortion and high taxes. you are for abortion and say, hey, we're about green energy. Let's get away from this fueling supply, and we are for a option, right? We could have gas, we could have energy, we could have electric, we could have whatever. We're not for one or the other. We just want a better way of life for Georgians. We want a better way of life for Americans. But you're not going to help us get there. So yes, it's going to substantiate their argument. So that's why I'm not happy that he's deflecting, but I get why he is. If you guys understand what I'm saying here.
Biden and the Democrats that have complete control. And thankfully, working with the Georgia General Assembly, we've been able to work to help give some relief to people despite what's happening in Washington, like giving a income tax credit back to our citizens, cutting taxes, also suspending the gas tax since March now.
Glenn, you are right. She never implicitly said defund the police. But what she has said, raising the criticism that the use of force tactics is not in question, is who those use of force tactics are being used to, citing that those use of force tactics are always disproportionately affecting Black Americans. Raising that kind of criticism only leads to what Michael has said. He's reclining, well, she's for defund the police. Well, it's that assumption, right? But Glenn, thank you for clarifying, because we have to be clear in what we're arguing up against. Stacey Abrams has never said blatantly that she supports defunding the police. In fact, she has supported the police. She actually has fundraised for police. She has done that. But there are certain things about her approach to that seems a bit skewed. That's the problem. Let's continue here.
$800 million of relief for our hardworking citizens. So that is what my focus has been on, and it's what it will continue to be on.
Thank you very much. Jennifer Bellamy, your question for Shane Hazel.
Mr.
Hazel,
we do.
George-
I should highlight someone in the chat. Gamer for Weirdos. Thank you for joining the Morning Fix Live radio show. Everybody, come together and welcome Gamer here. It's a newcomer. And yes, I did cover the documentary. Keisha and I, in full detail, covered it segment by segment. We even had a long discussion with someone who disagrees with this documentary, and you guys can check that out. Gamers for Weirdos, if you want to watch that on replay. I'm not sure if it's still here on Twitch, but if you go to the links that I have below on my platform here, go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, and you can look through some of those previous videos. You'll find it there. But thank you for coming by. Appreciate you.
Georgia seems to be struggling right now in dealing with how to legally take on the issue of cannabis in the state. What do you think needs to be done here? How should Georgia address the issues surrounding marijuana?
I guess a perfect question for a libertarian. We believe that cannabis is a plant that grows from earth naturally, and the hubris that the federal government has shown in making a Schedule I drug while also holding patents on it is one of those things where we find it somewhat laughable. And it is. It is a right of people. It is medicine. It is something that we can add to our industry here in Georgia and really displace a lot of what comes in from outside of Georgia. This is a huge win for Georgia. We have a great agricultural sector. We can grow 2 bumper crops of cannabis every year. The idea that it is still illegal and that Brian Kemp has talked about this and tweeted about it as it is a good thing when we make cannabis bust and cannabis bust only is a real sign that.
I mean, I have to agree. Republicans have always been on the fence with cannabis. Look, I'm not sure why we can't legalize this locally, and I'm not from Georgia, and I don't know exactly the details there. I believe cannabis is legal in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. But the general state, why haven't they legalized it? Well, perhaps because that would reduce certain sentences, right? And it doesn't mean it exonerates people. It just reduces sentences. So, for example, if someone, committed a double homicide or a homicide, was convicted of it, but also had a large amount of marijuana in their possession, well, that would reduce certain years, right? Maybe that the system doesn't want to let that person out because of the lack of remorse, whatever. I don't know. I'm just speculating. And this is probably terrible speculation. But I will simply say Republicans need to be on the right side of this, right? Go for it. If you want to legalize marijuana, sure, it's more tax revenue. It's what, in my opinion, it's more tax revenue. Go for it. It's just have the same statutes that you would for alcohol, 21 and over, in my opinion, 21 and over. So, tax reasons, they don't know how to tax it. I mean, fair enough, Ted, but there's a way to figure it out, right? By the ounce, by the pound, there's a way to do it because tobacco is taxed. Are we going to do it in that format? Are we going to figure it out how to do it there? Maybe tax a plot, maybe tax a place, maybe tax your land. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if we, this is a huge revenue, and perhaps that might lead us down that path. Let's see.
The government in Georgia is using it for the prison industrial complex, for the law enforcement complex to go after communities that would like to see freedom in this area. So it's a right. That's how we see it as libertarians.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a rebuttal?
Yeah, I would just like to make sure people at home know that I have been doing exactly what I told them I would do when I was campaigning for governor, and now that I am your governor. We have been going after street gangs and drug cartels. So the things that we're tweeting out there is when our great men and women in law enforcement are making drug busts, not from recreational users
It's a
and
plant.
other things. But that's what my focus is on.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Greg, please.
All right, so here's my pushback to the argument of the libertarian. Heroin comes from a plant. Fentanyl comes from a plant. All right, so let's slow down. Don't demonize the one despite the other. Right, everything comes from a plant. Look, I'm with you. Why Republicans are so hesitant on this, and I didn't like his answer either. However, to just simply be like, jump out the window and be like, well, it's a plant. A lot of these drugs come from plants, bro. So let's slow down, right? And let's think through this because that's not a way to get it done, right? So let's do this.
A question of Stacy Abrams.
Yeah, Ms. Abrams, in 2018, you didn't concede defeat to Governor Kemp, and you talked to systemic problems with the state's election system. This election, do you commit to accept the outcome of the vote regardless of what it shows?
Oh, my God.
And do you stand by your use of words like rigged 4 years ago?
I don't care about this. She can say whatever the hell she wants. Look, here's where I equally apply my logic. If she wants to say Brian Kemp is not the rightful governor, let her. It's the freedom of speech. But guess what? Don't demonize the other side for doing the same thing. But why are we doing this? Who cares? Just get to the damn nitty gritty of the question. Why waste your time on this question? You know these are the obvious questions that give you obvious answers, dum-dums. Come on now. Let's think bigger than this.
Describe the state's election system.
In 2018, I began my speech on November 16th acknowledging that Governor Kemp had won the election. I then proceeded to lay out in grave detail the challenges faced by voters under his leadership as Secretary of State, including—
You question his ability that he was rightfully elected. You did. You questioned it.
The 10+2 who were arrested in Quitman, Georgia, because they had the temerity to use absentee ballots. I told the story of students who were denied access to the right to vote, even though they had duly registered. 80,000 complaints had come in by that day.
Because it all depends on those students. Are they local? Do they live there? What? Right? Did you work that out, Miss Abrams? Did you work that out with the local board? Did you figure that out? Okay. So you can say what you want to emotionally appeal. At the end of the day, there are a lot more details to this story.
And it took 4 years of federal investigation in a lawsuit that was the longest running voting rights lawsuit in the state's in recent history that proved us right. Now, we didn't win every single claim, but we forced massive changes to the election laws. And unfortunately, Brian Kemp and Brad Raffensperger have decided—
And quite frankly, you didn't win much. The only thing she's referring to is when one of the justices ordered a stay because it was too close to an election, so the Republicans couldn't change certain things or couldn't contest certain changes. It was too close to an election. They didn't win much. They only won that. That's what she's referring to. And she's saying the pressure of that Guys, you guys could look it up, right? I think it's Justice Clarence Thomas. You guys could look it up yourself, that he ordered a stay, that neither party can make any changes right now too close to an election, right? So she's saying they agreed with us, they were on our side. Yeah, they're on your side now, right, Miss Abrams? Those conservative those extreme justices on the bench, huh? That's what you're saying without saying it. They didn't win anything. What she's talking about is, because of that, there is going to be an immense amount of pressure of how things are going to be moved around. She doesn't acknowledge that despite all those hurdles, vote turnout is extremely high in Georgia. But what you won't hear from neither candidate, anyone on this debate stage, in fact, no one on the media will even ask them, is why did it cost millions upon millions of dollars to host an election in Georgia? One of the most highly expensive election holdings in the entire country came from Georgia in 2020. We're talking about upwards of $20 million to fund an election in the state, presidential, all across the board. No, why did we need millions upon millions of dollars to the point where it bankrupted so much of the state's allocations that they had to close polling locations, not just in Fulton County where it's predominantly black, but in other counties around the state, in rural areas? Why did they run amok so much? Well, because you have people like Stacy Abrams arguing and questioning the legitimacy of the opportunity to vote, despite the fact that voting turnout has increased immensely over the last 20 years in Georgia, both white and blacks. If you look at the demographics who vote the most in Georgia, 80% are white. 80% of the voters in Georgia vote right. They vote Republican. And about 20% of the voters who are black vote Democrat. So when she is questioning the election, she's not questioning the opportunity for the black people to vote. She's questioning the 80% white people of why you're voting Republican. Let's make one thing clear. She is targeting and attacking white people, and she thinks she's going to win that way. And she's going to lose again by that logic. It's very stupid. Don't attack the very people that can get you into office, dum-dum.
To restore their greatest hits. Just today, a homeless woman was denied the right to vote in Forsyth County because she did not receive a provisional ballot because she had been challenged. As governor, I intend to stand up for the right to vote. I will always acknowledge the outcome of elections, but I will never deny access to every voter, because that is the responsibility of every American, to defend the right to vote.
Thank you. Brian Kemp, rebuttal, 30 seconds.
Well, I would just say that Miss Abrams is going to do a lot of attacking of my record tonight, because she doesn't want to talk about her own record.
There you go.
In 2018, in the governor's race, we had the largest African-American turnout in the country.
What did I say? What did I say?
She said that Senate Bill 202, our recent Elections Integrity Act, what we passed 2 years ago, would be suppressive in Jim Crow 2.0. Just this past May in our primaries, we again had record turnout in the Republican primary and the Democratic primary. In Georgia, it's easy to vote and hard to cheat.
And I'd like to add just a second here, as the Libertarian.
30 seconds for you.
Although you will push for people to have access to going to the polls and voting, you're not pushing ballot access. This is a huge oppression for people like the third parties, the people that want to get their people on the ballot. We have, I think, 20% Democrats, 20% Republicans in the state of Georgia. That leaves 60% of people in Georgia unrepresented by ballot.
Not true. That's not true. Like I just said, 80% of the white population in Georgia, you guys could look this up on your own, and look at the case in which Justice Clarence Thomas ruled. Look at that case. They put all the statistics there. They can't lie in court. They can lie on the debate stage, but they can't lie in court. And furthermore, you can't lie to Supreme Court justice. Okay? So they have to unload and unravel everything, folks. I was talking to a mutual creator, content creator, and he is the one that sent me this information about this justice ruling ordering a stay in the 11th Circuit Court. He sent it to me, and I did an immediate read. I broke it down, and he immediately, when I sent my responses, I said, it would behoove a person like Stacey Abrams or anybody running against a Republican candidate to look at the 80%. Stop focusing on the 20%. That's why Democrats keep losing. Look at the 80%. And trust me, these are not extreme Republicans. They just vote Republican because of what Brian Kemp is talking about: the way of life, the freedom, the lower taxes, or the aim to have lower taxes, the aim to have certain things. If Stacey Abrams moves over a little bit, just a tad, and tries to bring them forward, she will win the election. It's just that simple. Focus on the 80% that vote Republican. Stop focusing on the 20%, which is where she's always short-sighted. And where this person just lied, he said 20%, 20%. Nobody. Try 80. 80% of the white population in Georgia votes Republican. 80%. And like I said, you could look at the docket, you could look at the stats, it's all in that case. And perhaps tomorrow I'll bring that case up so you guys know what I'm talking about.
Access laws that both of them support.
30 seconds, Ms. Abrams.
Actually, to correct Mr. Hazel, I co-sponsored legislation to expand ballot access because I agree with you that third parties should have better access to the right to vote in the state of Georgia. I co-sponsored it with one of our independents in the state legislature. But let's be clear about ballot access and voter access. Brian Kemp was the Secretary of State, and he has assiduously denied access to the right to vote. We know that the right to vote is the only way that we can make the changes we need in the state, the only way we can make the changes we need in this country, whether it's access to the right to an abortion, the ability to take care of our families. We need a governor who believes in access to the right to vote and not in voter suppression, which is the hallmark of Brian Kemp's leadership.
All right, so here's my problem, and we're gonna park it there. Democrats are hell-bent on the notion of vote suppression just because you have to make adjustments. Democrats are hell-bent on the notion that just because we have to close a polling location, they immediately hurl the accusation of vote suppression. It wouldn't hold any water in a court of law. There is a committee of 3 justice panels that monitor this because this is the South. I don't know if you guys remember. If they are guilty of vote suppression, any states of the South in the Union will be subject to that 3 justice panel, and they would be cited. Do you guys understand that? Like, we're not stupid. These Republicans are not trying to vote suppress. They're trying to stop Democrats from cheating, because that's what it is. Can we be honest? Democrats are cheating because they're tired of seeing some of these states stay red because they have so much sway. And it's not just about local elections. It's about how it affects the grand scheme of the election, the White House chair. They're tired of seeing these states, these swing states, stay red because it affects the presidency. They do not want another Republican to sit in that chair, period. And they don't want a person like DeSantis or Donald Trump to be in that chair. So again, Brian Kemp is not guilty of voter suppression. No Republican in Georgia is. Don't buy the lies of Roland Martin, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar. They're not trying to suppress you. You have to look at how much it costs to have a polling site open. There are a lot of polling managers who are Black running these locations. Listen to what they're saying. Some of them are neutral. Some of them are of the Democrat Party. Some of them are of the Republican Party. It is what it is. At the end of the day, Georgia spent the most money to host all the polling locations. We're talking about it went from 4 million to 20 million, folks. In 2016, $4 million was allocated for an election in the national election, including the governorship. In 2020, that number increased to 16 to 20 million upwards. Why, you may ask? Because of COVID, all those measures and all that stuff. They spent the most money in the country. So they have to close polling locations. They just have to. They can't afford it. And those locations that can't support themselves, unfortunately, locations that are predominantly Black, because of lack of home ownership. Why don't you talk about that? Oh, they're going to racialize that. You can't talk about lack of home ownership, which pays the taxes to keep the polling location open. If I was a black person, which I am, I don't know why I spoke of myself in third person. Anyways, I digress. If I'm a person in that predicament, is what I meant to say, and I'm living there, I don't care about racializing or discrimination. I'm buying a house. If this means that much to me, I'll buy a house. I'll educate people to buy houses and allow those taxes. And then we go to council, local council meetings. Hey, we want to keep this polling location open, and watch how that stays open. Money talks, bullshit walks, folks. Period. The end. If we get the black community to understand that, which they do, because BLM knew that, they know very well and clear that money talks, bullshit walks. So buy houses if you're in Fulton County. Buy houses if you're in the other neighboring counties to Fulton County. Buy houses. Stop talking about how they're hindering you from buying houses. Figure out a way to jump through those damn hurdles. Oh, but why do I have to jump through hurdles? Because you want to jump through hurdles to buy that house to get those tax revenue up so you keep that polling location so you can vote Stacy Abrams in and you can get ultimate things that you want. And we see how that works. You see the strategy? But you keep yelling, screaming, swinging at the air, hitting your chest, throwing your head through the wall, saying, why, woe is me. And that's why you're not seeing the kind of progression that you should have. That's the problem. That's the problem. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you for being here on the Morning Face Live radio show. We'll be right back here tomorrow, Wednesday, hump day, at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, just been throwing it out there, soon we're going to be sprinkling in some evening fixes, right? I haven't figured out what I would call the nightly fix, but we will have a night fix at some point periodically to get more viewers in here, to get more people engaging in the chat. Maybe people are at work and they can't engage in this. That's fine. But at the end of the day, we're going to tailor or accommodate. I've already reached out in the Telegram group. I've gotten your answers, and majority of you and yesterday have all in unison agreed that we do need an evening show. So we will have an evening show. So Keisha and I are working on that behind the scenes, and we're going to work that out. But we need more participation from you because we only go as far as you. So the more you guys get engaged, commenting like you guys did today, sharing this show with everyone, getting people pulled in, it's only going to boost this platform. So like I have always said it from the very beginning, this show starts and ends with you. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow here at 10 a.m.